NASA is about to embark on an impossible mission. Impossible in that, yes, there are aliens existing in alien nations, but they're so far out that I think that it's almost impossible to get there. I think current capabilities estimate that um, we can sort of fathom maybe 2 billion or maybe a trillion light years away. And I'm not sure if within that trillion light years or a billion light years or a million light years, whether they have any inclination that they're aliens in that range. Now, light travels very fast, and it goes so fast per second that when you multiply that into to get light year, you go around that, all right? And I think it's way, way beyond that. But we've had in scripture two um, bits of travel logs that could give us a little understanding of this. Now, when Christ arose from the dead, he was milling around, and Mary Magdalene was in search of him, and so on. And Jesus said unto her, that is John chapter 20, verse 16. Jesus said unto her, Mary. She turned herself and said unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master. Jesus said unto her, Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren, and say unto them, I ascended unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and to your God. Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord, and that he had spoken these things unto her. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for the fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in their midst, and said unto them, Peace be unto you. So, within 12 hours, Jesus went to heaven, conducted a conversation or experience with the Father, and then came back to them so that they could now touch him. And we have another illustration here. Now, Daniel was praying for an understanding of certain prophecies and so forth. And his prayer starts in about Daniel 9, 4, and says that, And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made my confessions, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the commandments and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments, and so on. And it goes on further down into about 21st verse. And Daniel says, And while I was speaking and praying and confessing my sins, and the sin of the people, Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God, for the holy mountain of my God, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening obligation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. And Gabriel continued, At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved, therefore understand the matter and consider the vision. So within 19 verses, or even 17 verses, at the beginning of the fourth verse, when he started to pray, God dispatched Gabriel to come and to give him an understanding. And before he could read, before his prayer could take on 17 verses, the Gabriel reached and he touched him and said, I've come to give you an understanding. So, with Jesus taking probably about 12 hours to go to heaven and back, and Gabriel taking about, less than 5 minutes. So, that is showing how fast and how swift they fly. So that if, heaven is probably 1 trillion light years away, and they could do that in about 5 minutes. So it means that the angel flew something like 200 billion light years per minute. And when you multiply that by 60, you get almost 12 trillion light miles an hour, light years an hour. So this is the kind of speed we're talking about here. And I don't think NASA could even get up to that speed, because the amount of verses that Daniel's prayer amounted to, if you were to read that when NASA blast off in Florida, NASA might be just like maybe a couple thousand miles up. But in that same time, this angel covered almost 1 trillion light years. And he was traveling something like at about, what, 12 trillion light years an hour. So I think that NASA better wrap up this thing and don't get funny. You see, as I've said in other videos, that if these guys at NASA had some good theological understanding, if Billy Graham and Bishop Jakes and Joel Osteen, all these other guys had some good influence and some good theological common sense, and they explained to NASA, look, don't worry, this thing, it's known that these guys are out there. You can't reach them because it's too far. And even if you could have reached them, it's not going to be in your best interest because you're going to be destroyed. Since they are immortal, and angels are interacting with them, they're going to blind you. I mean, you can't interact with them. So there you go. NASA is about to embark on something impossible. But I guess they're just trying to remake their mission and to help themselves to keep that job a little bit. And hey, that's good. Come with a little, a little mirage, a little some faulty, flawed logics and so forth, and some that need some serious help to really be valid and reliable, because that kind of speed and that kind of distance, I mean, a trillion light years away, wow, even a million light years away, it's impossible to reach. Even 1 light year away, it's kind of almost impossible. So that good luck, NASA.